The Isle 95.9.
This is the Isle 95.9 FM. Thank you for staying with us. It's 22 minutes past 10. It's time for show business.
That's right. We do this every Friday from 10 a.m. We decided to let the music marinate just a little bit because of the show. That's the show, really. We're going to have a fantastic conversation because our guest today is an absolute powerhouse, a lawyer, filmmaker, music executive. She is redefined. Yes, it's a beautiful young lady. She is redefining what it means to manage talent and build creative brands from Abuja, Lagos, and even just to the world in general.
Yep. And everyone knows her as Director C. And apparently, and what's exciting about our guest for today is she's not just a music executive. She's also a filmmaker. Yeah. That's what's exciting about. So we are looking at someone who can just talk about the creative business generally speaking, not just as someone who's trying to push an artist out there. Someone who also has to get an entire production crew together to, ensure that, okay, we want to do this movie, we want to do this film and all of that. Plus, she's a lawyer as well. She's a lawyer as well.
So don't play with her.
Don't do that. All right, let's make welcome this morning none other than Cindy Ihua-Maduenyi. Hey,
try. You did good.
You should try. I stayed clear away from that because I didn't want no trouble.
I knew that's what you were trying to do.
Hi guys.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. All right, so you wear so many hats: lawyer, music exec, filmmaker, famous Psycho YP sister as well. I had to chip that in one way or the other because it's not easy. All right, so how did your journey evolve from studying law to leading one of Nigeria's most creative collectives, which is Apex Village?
Apex Village, yes. Pretty much just me trying to put my career into practice, right? So my brother started rapping and going out and having this very exterior personality, and as a lawyer I felt like there's something to protect here, right? That was just like an innate instinct, like there's something to protect here. I was not specialized in intellectual property or entertainment law or anything like that, but just in the course of putting his affairs together, knowing the person, which was the artist, I was able to just learn on the job, and grow into this thing that you guys are able to describe so eloquently.
Thank you.
So, but yeah, it just stemmed from me trying to look after my brother's affairs, and then, building this collective of very creative talents. We have artists, we have producers, we have real artists, not just musicians, but like actual, graphic designers, illustrators, artists.
So basically the whole creative ecosystem.
Yes, we built that in-house from my brother making music to making music with his friends and putting that collective together of creative minds, signing further younger acts and developing the scene in Abuja. Right. So that's what it turned into.
I really love it, but I want to believe that, at the beginning, obviously it was, okay, let me help my brother get his affairs in order. We have to protect the brand, the property, intellectual property, the music, everything. At what point did you say, you know what, there's a potential for this to be really big. There's a potential for this to help other people, not just my brother, not just my blood, like everybody. This is something that can elevate people's careers. At what point, what was the turning point for you?
Let me be honest. The music industry is very financially straining. So at a point you need money. So for me, my mind was around monetizing. So when we started thinking about monetizing was when we realized, this is bigger than just us being creative and having a whole culture around us in Abuja or community, as the case may be. It's time to monetize. Like, money has to come out from the music you're making, be it from the actual music sales or from your brand or whatever the case may be. And you see, I saw firsthand the reaction from their fans. It wasn't just me thinking they had talent and I could push them to the world. I saw firsthand the reaction. At the time, Psycho YP was performing at every single prom in Abuja. Like, every school had him. In a day, we could drive off to 3 different schools, trying to do, catch up to the timing and make up for the clothes, for the night, because they have prom, they have timelines, they can't be out too late. So we had specific scheduled time was meant to be on the stage. So imagine juggling 3-4 schools in a night. And seeing the reaction, the kids were going wild for having him on stage. kids come up to you after the show, like they're so impressed by what you do. So if not for the community, really, we wouldn't be here. But I think when it came time to now monetize, when you want to monetize your craft as an artist, your outlook has to change. Your visuals have to change. Your branding has to change. Everything has to look crisp, has to look clean, has to look fresh. So that's when I started using my skills as a filmmaker. I'm like, I'm going to shoot your music videos. So let me shoot your music videos. Let's put more thought and intentionality to the photo shoots and things like that. That's when, you know, my full capacity, opened up.
Wow.
Really.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Oh, look at that. Well, I really, really appreciate the fact that, you decided that, okay, my brother has this thing and I have this thing. Let's work together and push it out and put it out. That's really, interesting. If you're just tuning in, this is the Hour 95.9 FM. We have Cindy here with us, who happens to, lead one of the most dynamic creative collectives we have. It's not just music. There's a lot that happens in the Apex Village, and very, very impressed one way or the other. So you've also been instrumental in directing and producing a lot more music videos. Many have praised your work for the storytelling, the visual depth. It's amazing. So what's your creative process like, translating an artist's sound into a visual story?
I have to listen to the music. I pretty much have to sink myself into it and put it on loop. If someone is around me when I'm trying to come up with like a mood board or treatment, they will hate the song. They will absolutely hate the song, hate the artist, hate me. They will just be like, Cindy, I need space from you. But for like at least a week, I'm going to put that song on repeat, just having it trigger certain emotions. Yeah. So most of the time, it may not be what the artist's vision is, but really what my interpretation of, how the music has made me feel, really. But because of my film background and I like doing, short films, documentaries, I try to create a story out of every single visual, right? So there should be a story. I try my best to. But sometimes some artists are very sticky about what they want. So you have to leave room for their own creative process. And if that's the case, all right, let's make it flashy, let's make it bang, let's add, creative lighting, very elusive sets and keep it going. But I like creating a story from the emotion that you as the artist has invoked in your music. So if you like be rapping, I'm gonna find emotion.
You're gonna find a way to tell the story. That's amazing. Were there some people that sort of like inspired you to want to do this as well?
This was all from creative pursuits in school. Okay. You can see that I juggle many hats.
Yes,
I'm the kind of
seem to do very well.
Exactly.
I'm the kind of student that gets involved in every extracurricular activity, right? So I tend to just immerse myself in everything. So eventually when it's time to like work with an artist on any kind of idea or story, we can really do anything. The possibilities are endless. But again, it really works when there's that synergy between you and the artist and the vision. And then for me, I think just the story is so important. Yeah. Like it's really, really important, but not everyone wants that. But I can sit back and if you maybe throw a video at me, I can come up with why we did it that way or why we shot it where we shot it.
Because it was very intentional on your part.
There's always like an intentional. And then artists come with their own background. For instance, when we were shooting a video for Azansi, for a song called Getting Hot. Now this is a song that's like a mixture of funk, like real funk, and like Afro beats. No one just like mixes that kind of thing. Yeah. And at the time he was 19 and still trying to have that high school persona, young boyish nature. So, and the only chance he had to shoot it was on a trip we took to Ghana. And so he has me thinking, let's just get all the hip, young, Gen Z type dancers in a house, and then people already type faced him as like Apex Village young boy, so he's in the house texting all the Apex Village guys in a group chat like, yo, my parents just left, like I'm about to do a house party, and everyone's like, guy, don't break things, so like we're not here. And then he ends up pulling like this whole big house party in his house. But the inspiration behind that is when you put like funk and Afrobeats together, two very high party energy genres of music, and it gives you like that nostalgic feel. So we had elements of like the house party, the movie, elements of that old school feel in the video as well. So ideas have to come together. You have to look at the artist's image and the reason for doing anything.
That is brilliant.
So what has been the most challenging thing about working with artists or actors or, just creatives generally? What's the most challenging thing?
I would say doubt.
In who?
Yeah. Because...
Are you doubting their talent?
No, they doubt themselves so much.
Oh, okay, sorry.
No, you're dealing with human beings, right?
True.
They have their own insecurities, and how they relate with you as a professional can change. Like this minute they're professional, the next minute they could talk to their friends, and they talk a lot. Actors talk to each other. Artists talk to each other. They are the people that work around them talk to each other. So everyone is hearing what this one was paid, what that one said about this one, what how this one reacted to a certain situation. So it's like when they compare themselves, to their peers or they're in their heads, there's doubt that creeps in. So you now have to manage the person, and not just the business. And you have to kind of micromanage their feelings. That's the biggest thing, because it affects everything. It affects how they think about money. It affects how they agree with your decisions. It affects how creative they can be at any point in time, and you want their headspace to always be creative, right? So the biggest fear or the biggest challenge is always doubt, because every time I have an issue with an artist and we fight, it boils down to like, bro, you're doubting yourself. Like this insecurity, there's a problem. Because for the past few weeks, it's been acting weird. So, like, what's going on?
But like, if I was like managing a talent, maybe I was an A&R or a talent manager. What characteristics or trait do I have to be able to manage an artist who is going through self doubt?
You have to love that artist.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Unfortunately, like.
So that means you only work with artists that you listen to their songs, that you are you
actively enjoy
their
it,
songs.
yes.
So it's not like commercial that let me just do it because this person is paying good.
You have to know what you're selling, even if they're paying good. If you don't know what you're selling, you won't be able to market it. You need to study the product. You need to know the product like the back of your hand.
You got to be invested.
Yes. Thank you. That investments of yourself into something, you have to like it now. To an extent.
All right. Well, there's still so much to talk about. Your coordination of the youth movement. That's another interesting one. How did that come about? I mean, how, where, what brought that up?
So at the time when we were building the Apex Village ecosystem in Abuja, I had business partners I was working with at the time, other companies. We were doing most of the events in Abuja. So we found that every time we would go for a show with our artists, there's always a lack of coordination. They need help. So at a point, like at one or two shows it happened where backstage I'd be the one kind of coordinating all the upcoming artists that are meant to perform. Talking to the DJ, appeasing him and saying, please, okay, play it in this order for them till it gets to my artist. But at the time, I've already fixed my artist to maybe perform right before the headliner or something. That's the price you pay for all the coordination I'm bringing, right?
Okay.
So, and then we're working with literally all the concerts in Abuja, from the Butch concert to the Republic concert to, most of the headline shows that you had, from like Davido to Fan Festival that we brought Timaya, and we did a lot of events, right? So, at the time we felt like this is the best platform to basically put our artists on. And that's what helped us build the ecosystem, right, around events. So, the government at the time was looking for a way to mobilize youth platforms. And we kind of pitched it as this 3-day festival where, the youths can come in. We can bring in the actual, you would call them the Gen Z talent now, but at the time it was maybe the youngest talent we could bring was like Rema. So we would bring in the youngest, vibrant, buzzing artists and then do a 3-day festival. And we ran that twice with the office of the Secretary General
That's amazing.
To the Federation, and it was really amazing. We were the first to bring Rema. Like that was the main goal, to bring in the young talents that are really like A game. So the headliners for the first were Rema, Psycho YP, and then you throw in like a big one-day call or something. So like all the OGs come in. Yes, thank you.
See, honestly, I personally really I love the approach, to even just like the business side of it, the approach to the business side of it. And there's also something that caught my attention. Let's move more to the business now. You've helped artists secure over $2 million in record and distribution deals through your project.
Wow.
This is amazing, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow.
It's crazy because I could have just seen you at an event and not know the real impact that you have here. So you've kind of figured out a way. I mean, you're going to be humble about it, it's normal. But you kind of figured out a way to make the ecosystem more business conscious and to make, how do I put it? Even the artists who are not like the biggest names, you know, they have sustainable access to performances, to income, and to stuff like that. I really appreciate that.
Yes.
Thank you so much. So I want to know what goes into that. How do you balance the creative side of filmmaking and of course the business, the funding realities, because it's not easy.
It's not easy.
It's not easy. I think being able to contribute towards the actual visuals for the artist helps a lot, because $2 million, it really adds up when you think about it. It's not like I gave I secured $2 million for one person, but when I thought about it, or when you think about it, like across all the deals that I've negotiated for artists, it does add up.
It does. It really does. You should give yourself some flowers.
Exactly, because you do all that work and then you forget the journey sometimes.
You just realize.
It really does. So again, it goes back to what I said about being able to monetize an artist, and you have to package them well. When you have the right visuals, you have the right branding, that's what you use to build your portfolio to seek out the right deals for yourself as an artist. So many artists, like I said, they talk a lot. They've heard about, they can get this deal here, they can get that deal there. But the truth and the real honest reality is you're not going to get a deal unless you are branded properly. That is validation for why someone should give you money, like why they should invest in what you're doing. And then on top of that, you have the business mindset of it is that, you know, they want to see how much you're making as an artist. It's essentially why we built all these other income streams around artists. Because if you as an artist can monetize and generate revenue for yourself, you can present that to people who are financially invested in artists, and then they in turn will give you money for it. So that's really what I've been that's the rule I've been playing by. I had this strong-headed belief that you don't have to be the number one artist in the country or the highest charting artist in the country to actually make money.
To have a sustainable career.
Thank you.
You don't.
Oh my goodness,
really
thank you.
Thank
you for that.
I think I'm gonna shed a tear a little bit because I mean, as somebody like me who I do know a lot of artists, a lot of young artists who are really, really talented, but they just can't seem to crack the code. So they do need people like you who are ready to put in the work and go the extra mile for things like that to happen.
I have records there's some records that I've released with my artists that haven't done up to maybe $3,000 in streams, but those same records have probably done up to $50K in sync revenue, like from placing them in movies and adverts and.
My goodness.
I'm telling you.
What?
So I need to take this back. Okay, apparently we have a lawyer, a filmmaker, and a music executive,
a business whiz,
and a businesswoman,
a whiz kid in business.
Yeah, with us in the studio. Because what?
Yeah.
But how did you even figure out you could do that? How did you come about that?
Yeah, all these records on movies, they're paying for that, and it's so it's a tough one. So I feel like from the first opportunity that came around, right? And it's something that I've read up in the process. And this is why it's good to work with people who also challenge you. I don't be working with artists who just sit around and wait for you to do everything. My artists also challenge me. They may not be number one in the country, but I promise you they probably have their head on straight when it comes to business more than most, right? So they challenge me, and I wouldn't know much about publishing and sync, money from sync if they didn't challenge me, right? So I do my research, ask around, and then partnered up with some sync agents in the US who have been doing a great job. It's not something that is constant. It's not every day, but when it does come in, it's worth it. It brings in more value. And again, from the first opportunity we had, Netflix, Blood and Water season 2.
Ooh.
We did this record that was worked on heavily by like a South African team. Was a project with Psycho YP and Azanti. and I think the engineers to like the people who just worked on us with us on it, like the project managers, they were heavily like, they're based in South Africa. And I think 8 months or so down the line, one of them had started working with a music agency in South Africa that was handling all the music for Blood and Water season 2. Wow. And they said, oh, there's a song called Caro on the YP and Azanti Volume 1 project that had made it to Apple Music Best Songs of 2020, what year it was, 2021 or so. And so they're like, oh, this record is evergreen. Like, it's amazing. It fits the scene. We want to put it on the series. And I'm like, okay, how much could that possibly be? It's not much. I'm not even kidding you. At the time, with exchange rates, it was like $1,000, like $1,000.
Yeah.
But that was like more than what the record had made in like streams. So I'm like, wait, this is really nice. Like, more can come. And they're like, yeah, it's just because this is a lower end type of project. Yeah. And when you dig in deeper, you find that when major brands, all these McDonald's and and the likes want to do their ad campaigns and the music around it, they're paying big bag for it. I've seen sync offers that are worth $200,000 for an advert.
Amazing.
Okay. Well, apparently there's still so much for us to talk about because we're going to talk about so many monetization strategies that Cine has to offer, and she'll just drop one or two for somebody out there who just wants to wear some ice on their neck and on their wrist.
That's what Star do, baby.
All right, let's just listen to Psycho YP featuring Azanti. This is WYDTM. I think it means what you done to me. What you done to me.
What you done to me.
What you done to me. So we'll be right back. Stay with us. This is The Isle 95.9 FM. You're listening to Show Business.
The Isle 95.9.
Okay, I like it when, some OGs be like, this young cat has it. Let me just bring him on board and just hold him by the hand and let's do this thing together. This is still the Isle 95.9 FM. Show Business is currently on. We have Cindy, the business mogul.
That's right.
In the creative world. All right. So because we are all about business, economy and development right here, we are talking about the business side of the creative industry. And apparently, Cindy, who has helped artists secure over $2 million in record and distribution deals, has some mad monetization strategies. Because who would have thought that background vocals or background music or, how over there in the US, there's an entire soundtrack album from a movie.
Yeah.
Like a movie can just have like an album itself. So I think that's what you're gearing towards, right? And it's amazing how you're able to, think of that, trying to protect your or trying to see, what, even if you're not performing at Coachella, you can still make some money, right?
That's right. There's always a way.
There's always a way. I mean, but the goal is to make it to Coachella. Those are levels of more income.
No, of course, please.
Yeah, that's a different skill. But you can survive. You can be good if you make music that would last.
But if you put it that way, what does global standard mean to you?
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I wanted to get to.
Thank you. Especially in the Nigerian context.
That's a very tough question because the Nigerian context is disrupting the norm of what global standard is. Global standard has always been, that's outside of the Nigerian context, it's always been very polished music.
Yeah.
This is for mainstream music, right? Commercial sounding, broken down, not too complex, top tier production, right? There's standards in terms of production and engineering your records that anyone can hear when they listen. So if you can just provide or deliver a quality record that adheres to what the rules of music would be, like you have melodies on point, your music is structured right, harmonies are structured right, your songwriting is polished, your delivery, your vocals, everything is polished. Yeah, that's global standard. But in Nigerian context comes with the added, because we're a very big nation, huge population, we have a lot of everything. So what stands out usually is what's trending or what's like viral or what's hip or what's, just hip at the moment, what's popping right now. So the global standard, you would find not the most polished songs, but just the ones that people, I think we're very lifestyle oriented.
Yeah.
We're very much around, we very much praise music that just complements our lifestyle.
Yeah.
Music that takes us away from our real struggles and allows us focus on the lifestyle that we aspire to have.
A bit of an escape there.
Yes, a bit of an escape. Yeah, it's very mad escapism. But so the Nigerian context is different, and it's why I say it's different because, or it disrupts what global standards have or had in place, is because, purely because Afrobeats is doing what it's doing now globally. Everyone is now interested in what we're doing.
And you'd say that's a good thing, really, is it?
It's a good thing.
Yeah.
It's an amazing thing because back then, I would say at least like 10 years ago, if you had looked on these same streaming platforms like Spotify, the biggest Nigerian song, the biggest, like, it's so big, MTN has endorsed you, like you've toured the country, you've toured Africa, what do you call these people in South Africa have given you verse, you've gone to Tanzania, you've built house in Banana Island, you're eating good, you've done all those pictures, you've bought your 5th car. Now, check on Spotify, that song probably has like 10, 15 million streams.
Yeah.
That's insane. Because in the US, for you to have that and be big like that, you need to have at least 100 million streams, 200 million streams. Yeah, to be able to accomplish those things. And so it's like now shifting when Afrobeats has now gone to the world, because now our biggest songs are now crossing over billions of streams now. Yeah. We're actually matching those same numbers. But what we're not doing is matching the numbers in terms of revenue.
Yeah.
So it's still the same. Like your 1 billion streams from Africa are worth less than 1 billion streams from like the US.
But don't you think that's an exchange rate problem?
It's an exchange rate, subscription issues. Like our subscription is less on platforms. So it's so many other things. So it's good. At least it's good. For me, it's good that it amplifies what we've been doing here. It opens up corridors for us globally because now the numbers can be more, but then the industry has changed so much now because spending power in different places that could have generated revenue for an artist are now less because everyone is focused on the numbers that we're doing on Spotify or Apple Music or whatever. So those endorsement deals are now less. Those tour deals are now less.
I think I have just a tiny issue with that because the Spotify, the Apple, they're more, for the Western artists. Like, we have what's the other one? AudioMac and Boomplay. These ones are supposed to be like focused on African music. They're supposed to be. That's what, based on when they started and everything. But that's what's supposed to be like. So why don't we have platforms for African artists to African audience and even
like what's stopping that?
Exactly.
Really?
What do you think?
AudioMac and Boomplay are not African platforms either.
Well, they were designed for African, artists.
Not necessarily. AudioMac, if you were using AudioMac as far back as 2013, 2012, it was not even available like in Africa or anything like that. It was like where people would dump their like mixtapes and stuff. So
it was a bit sound cloudy.
It was a bit sound cloudy. It's only certain music that was on there. And then fast forward to now, everything is there now. Yeah. But then it's not built for Africans by Africans. It's an American company by Americans. And still more listeners on AudioMac are in America. And you find that if you're an artist, for instance, you sing music, you make music, 1 million streams from Spotify would give you $1,000 something. 1 million streams from Apple Music would give you maybe $2,000 to $3,000. 1 million streams from AudioMac would give you $300. Where will you pitch your tent?
You said. Where will you come? Hey.
Why did you do
Where will you pitch your tent?
It's okay. Off your mic. No, but don't you think there is a lacuna there? Don't you think?
The thing is access and penetration, because those platforms, you would say they're more catered to Africans because it's cheaper for Africans to listen to them, and there's just more access to those platforms, which is fair. But they're not paying the creator well enough.
Yeah.
They're not paying the creator well enough.
No, because subscribing to Spotify is a headache.
I would say that at this point it means that there's a gap somewhere.
Yes.
Obviously investment is probably just the problem here. But I do think that there's a gap somewhere. And if you're listening, please, I think somebody should try and feel it, so at least we can tell our own musical stories our way. And of course, you can talk to Cindy here. She'll put you through.
The numbers they counted a lot on these platforms. They didn't count so much in terms of like streams, because artists are making money from tours and endorsements and all these things at least Nigerian artists. That's where we're making money from other places. But now these things count because the shows have dried up, the endorsements have dried up, and now artists are collecting advances against their music from distributors and from labels. So they'd rather just collect that advance and sit home than tour the whole of Africa in a whole year, lose their voice, lose weight, walk, stress to try and make that money that they were making back in the day.
Yeah,
if you ask me, I'd rather be back in the day, because there was much more money then. Because now you're taking an advance against music that will struggle to make that money back. And no one is going to kill you for it, mind you. But it does take a toll on like future business prospects, because how many more advances can you possibly take
on that? Yeah.
And then now you're not even getting endorsements or shows anymore. So we're at a standstill right now. It's why people keep complaining about where Afrobeats is.
Yeah.
Not because the genre is not doing the work and crossing over, but because the money is tight.
Alrighty, thank you so much, Cindy, for the insights. Absolutely inspiring conversation. Just even hearing your story and why you do all that you do right now. So in closing, because of time, I would like to ask you, you're a lawyer, you're a filmmaker, you manage talent. What piece of advice do you have for people who want to blend passion with their purpose in a way? What piece of advice could you give them?
Number one piece of advice, which I didn't know till much later, and I was blessed to have a couple industry OGs put me on to, was focus on yourself. You can manage artists, you can build their businesses, you can scale them up into superstars if you want. Yeah. But also find a way to direct some energy towards your own personal pursuits. Yeah. Because if I wasn't Director C, I would just be somebody's manager. Yeah. If I didn't follow my own passions and build my own, where I can fall back on when music is not moving, I wouldn't really be anywhere or even learn or grow. So now I can pivot into other industries.
That's real as hell, man.
That. Exactly. Really like well, that is Director C's story from the courtroom to the music studio, onto the production studio, and all of that. It's been such a riveting moment having this conversation with you. I like the fact that you just see an opportunity in everything to make money. Yeah. In everything. I admire that.
She likes money a lot too. I think you'll connect on that.
And everybody, this is proof that creativity and business can work together.
That's right.
Creativity and business can come together and make something amazing. You can commercialize everything and anything legally.
Okay.
It's because there's a lawyer here. We have to add that.
Yes. All right. Our dear listeners, our fellow good Nigerians, that's a wrap on the Good Nigeria Show and, of course, Show Business. Thank you so much for sticking it out with us from 5 a.m. up until now. It's been a fantastic show. We do this every weekday, Monday to Friday, 5 a.m. to 11 a.m. The usual suspects, Big Daddy and MoyoLagos.
My name is OmoBea, OMOBEA. We look forward to more groundbreaking work from Director C the Apex Village team. And that's a wrap for today. Antoinette is already in the building, ready to take over for Isle Express. In the meantime, this is the Good Nigeria Show signing out.
The Isle 95.9.